All right, what's up, guys? So the day is finally here. I know you guys have been waiting on some content for quite some time. It's actually, I was sitting here going back and forth with my guy. It's been over a year since we actually put some content out. And you guys know it's just been a whirlwind, a lot of stuff going on. I had the injury, trying to get back in the mix, trying to compete, just a lot of stuff up and down. But finally, after competing a couple shows this year, you guys know we had the Arnold Classic earlier. We took that show on short notice. Didn't come in like we wanted to. Coming off that injury in less than a year it was tough trying to peak my body. I mean, the last time I peaked properly was 2021. So it's been 2 years since I've been able to come on stage, and that was the last show that I won, the California Pro. And then we recently just had the Chicago Pro, which we'll talk more about that later. But I wasn't able to nail it then. I tried something a little bit different that caused my body to go the other way. But that's part of the learning curve. But like I said, we'll get into all that stuff going forward. Today, we're going to train some chest. We're going to go over to my home gym, Texas Iron Republic, here in Magnolia, Texas. It's going to be a really good session. First, let's just kind of welcome all the new people that have come aboard and haven't seen any content in over a year. Like I said, we're going to push this out as much as we can, as quick as we can, and we're going to make sure it's quality. Go back to the original format where I would give you guys training tips, how I'm actually training now, what's different from my diet, how I organize my reps, my sets, everything. It's completely different. Like I said, it's been over a year since I've been able to train healthy, and this will be a really good start to intro you guys back into everything. So I did a poll yesterday on my social media on Instagram. Asked you guys, what do you want to see train today? Or what did you want to see overall on the video as we're putting some content out, starting to put content out again? There was some mixed bag, full day of eating, some wanted video games, some wanted my shoe collection, just all kind of different stuff. So we're going to go with chest, but a quick kind of overview of what the meal plan currently is. I don't have a set meal plan because I'm still coming off of the show, but a lot hasn't really changed too much. But there have been some different things that I'm including into my meal plan now. So you guys remember what's back in 2020, I believe I probably talked about the meal plan. We're doing the chicken and beef, right? So we're still doing that. Extra lean ground beef right here from HEB, and the chicken tenders, right? So we're not doing any cooking today, but this is the still basics that we're sticking with. Also do more shopping at Whole Foods, much thanks to my lady. She has turned me on to some much better quality food. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you check out Whole Foods wherever you are in your local town. As far as breakfast, egg whites still, I haven't really been eating them. She's been eating them more because she is actually a little more intricate on her food versus me. Once I come off of a show, just like all of you guys, it's a little loose. You're not really like just spot on with what you're eating. You're kind of just going with feeding your body, rehydrating your body, getting back to a point where you can train consistently and actually enjoy the process. Outside of that, let's see what we have here. I am a huge Pop-Tart fanatic, so you'll kind of see there are 3-4 different kinds of Pop-Tarts here. Strawberry is my favorite. My girl actually likes chocolate frosted fudge. Still doing the Kodiak cakes for breakfast sometimes. It'll either be this, or I also have the cream of wheat or cream of rice. Cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm a fan of this. This is the much healthier version, if you guys want to check that out. So, move over here. Let's see. All right, so like I said, do the cream of wheat sometimes. That's easy enough. I include some bagels here and there. I'm a fan of burgers. So I will have, right now I'm having 1 to 2 burgers a day. I'll have that with some potatoes. I'll still have rice and stuff like that. But with the potatoes, I'll add some butter, salt, pepper, just normal stuff. And I'm going to get to, my girl said I should add some cheese and bacon and all that, which I actually do need. My diet, you guys know it's harder for me to put on body fat. So I have to have a diet that has some extra calories in it just to grow some muscle tissue. Outside of that, everything's kind of basic, but like I said, we'll get to all that going forward. Since we're getting ready to go to the gym, you guys have seen me talk about Inspired Nutra on my social media. So these are just a few of the products that they have. Since we're getting ready to go train, we're going to do the pre-workout. So this is the new one. So it's Devastate Dark, right? You guys, I don't know how much you've seen of this one. This was the original one that you guys would see me post. The original Devastate. I haven't quite retired these, but I don't use them as much since I have the new version. So they're pretty cool, right? And of this, I'm doing 1 scoop. You can do 2 scoops, but you're going to be pretty amped up. And being that it's a little bit later in the evening here, I don't want to be up all night. So I'm going to take my pre-workout, multivitamin. You guys have seen me talk about these. That's daily. So there's 2 types of fat burners that they carry. One is stimulant. This serving calls for 2, but man, if you take 1, I found that that's just enough because 2 really is going to get you going. But since it's the evening time, you do the non-stim. So I'll have 2 of those just to keep me warm, get me sweating a little bit. The Legend, which is, you know, a pump potentiator, that one's good. So we'll take that and possibly Ember Heat Reserve. So it's just is a really good thermogenic, kind of gets you focused, ready to train, right? So we'll make a nice little cocktail with that just to get started. So do is a little bit of ice. Oh, none of that water's, we get in trouble for that. I don't like a ton of water, not with my supplements anyway, because I like to actually taste them. I don't want to be all diluted and stuff like that. So 1 scoop of that, Devastate Dark. I'll do about half a scoop of the Ember, but that's only because I'm taking the non-stim fat burners as well. So instead of doing a whole scoop, just do about half. And the rest are tabs, so you just shake that up. You'll take 4 of these of the Legend. Or pop them. Very simple. And you're gonna take 2 of the non-stim. You can take 2. The good thing about these is it's funny because you can actually take these at bedtime. So I know that seems funny, right? Taking a fat burner at bedtime. But it doesn't keep you up. It's non-stim. So all right. All right, I think I just about might have covered everything. Let me think.
What shoes you wearing today?
Oh man, that's a good question. I actually don't have any shoes on. Funny enough, you guys have seen me put. I just posted on my story yesterday, a couple days ago, that I was actually going through my shoe collection. So me and my girl are moving soon, and she told me that I needed to get rid of my shoes. And as stubborn as I am, I obviously did not want to get rid of them. But then as I started to go through my collection, I saw that there were quite a few that I actually never wore, or there were some that I've worn once or twice actually shooting with my guys. So they're brand new. They haven't, you know, been worn anywhere else but in the gym, and then that was it. So I'm going to be getting rid of those as I go. But it's just tough posting them. So we got no kicks on today, and she's responsible for making me get rid of those. Aside from that, there's nothing new. Is Leo down there? Let's see. All of you guys have seen, oh, well, dead dog. He sleep. So, Leo, hey. What you doing? Oh, so him, I've never personally owned a Frenchie, so this is primarily my girl's dog. And I have welcomed him, and he is probably the most stubborn animal ever. You can't tell him anything because if you touch him, he'll freak out, try to go after you. So it's really the funniest thing because the way he acts, you'd swear he was 250 pounds. But as you can see, he's not quite that. But he's pretty chill. So, like I said, I'll be moving soon. You guys know I had some issues not long ago. Last year, I talked about my Camaro being stolen. So the similar situation actually happened with my truck, which was crazy. So Houston is just not the best place. That actually happened while I was in prep. And of course, you know, it's frustrating. I was not far out from a show. That was actually when I was getting ready for California. So I just had too much going on. I couldn't make it for that show. Then I planned for Orlando and had some other things going on. So like I said, it's just been like a whirlwind, up and down with a lot of stuff. But I have managed to do pretty well considering sticking to my training, you know, diet as much as I can. But with me being back healthy, 100%, this content is going to be much better. You guys I haven't had a chance to actually release content like this since 2018, going into 2019. So everyone's always crazy about that 2019 Olympia prep and the look that I brought to the stage, which actually put me on the map. And that was, you know, I turned pro in 2017. So I was a very new pro, very new at figuring all this stuff out. And, you know, I worked with Chris Aceto at the time. He's my coach. And I still keep in touch with him. A lot of people ask, you know, do I still work with Chris? Am I working with a coach overall? So we had a good look. But the big factor from 2018 to 2019 was I was healthy. So I wasn't coming off of an injury. I could actually train 100%. Mentally, I was locked in. And for all my guys that compete, you already know, you have to make sure your environment and your mental state is right when you're trying to compete, because you're trying to get in that zone where you can be consistent with your meal plan. You're motivated to train every day. And like I said, 2019 was great. 2020, COVID hit. I was actually on prep for, I was on prep from, I want to say, February of 2019 is when I started prep for the California Pro of 2019. That was my first pro win. Went all the way to prep through 2020 for the Arnold. COVID happened, so I stayed on prep for an additional 6 months to September. So we're talking close to 18 months of continuous prep. I had a few months off, and then I came back in 21. I had a very quick, short prep for the California Pro in 21. I was fortunate enough to win that show. Went on to the Olympia in 21. Didn't do so well. Same thing, peaking protocol was a little bit different, so just didn't nail it like I wanted to. End up placing towards the back of the pack, but you guys know that happens. So it wasn't a big deal. Bounced back from that. Planned on doing something in 22 because I was healthy, and then I had the injury. So I ruptured Achilles, for you guys that don't know. And it wasn't that it prevented me from training so much, but it did take me out of the mindset where I was motivated, because I knew that I wouldn't be competing for at least a year minimum. And I actually got back on stage in less than a year. Probably wasn't the greatest idea, but you know, I was tired of sitting on the sideline. I was ready to get back in the mix. But with this sport, you know, it comes a lot of patience if you are healthy. So if you're not and you're injured, you're just trying to get back into that groove. It takes a lot. So it's not something that happens quick. But that's stuff that we'll talk about going forward. Like I said, today we're going to do some chest training. I think this is going to be what you guys have been waiting for. Everyone's always like, you know, where's the content? Where's the content? When are we going to get some new content? Well, it's here. And like I said, we'll roll this out as quick as we can, and we'll see what happens. So you guys make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Like I always tell you, hit that subscribe button, go down, leave some comments. Tell me what you want to see, what you don't like, you have questions. Me and my guy, we're both always in the comment section, and we're trying to answer you guys' questions. If you have anything that you want to know, anything you'd like to see, just go in there and type it, and one of us will respond to you. Then we'll make sure to get that content up, and you guys will get everything you want out of the channel. So we will get ready to roll out. You done? Huh? She's trying to get out here to go to the gym. We'll wrap it up, guys. We will make our way towards the gym. It is 8:48 here in Houston. So let's get to work. What's up, guys? All right, so we made it to the gym. As you can see, we're at Texas Iron Republic. This is here in Magnolia, Texas. This is probably about 15 minutes from my home. This is my home gym. This is where I primarily do all of my training. I know you guys see me post at some different gyms and stuff like that, but here at Texas Iron Republic, the owners, Chris, Tyler, they're amazing guys. They're into powerlifting. So Tyler is the strongest guy that I've ever met. It's later in the evening here, so he's not around, but I catch him usually in the daytime. But he's on my Instagram, and you'll see him doing some pretty crazy lifts. His name's Tyler Williamson. I'll have to post some clips so you guys can go check him out. Come follow this gym, Texas Iron Republic, Chris Matos. They have provided an excellent training facility for me. We'll get some, views of some different stuff in here. The best thing about this gym is that there is not one piece of wasted space. I come in here and I can use every single piece of equipment in this gym. It's well over, I would say, probably 80 pieces, 100 pieces, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, it's very rare that you find a gym that you go into and you say, I'm gonna use everything in this gym. I don't use that, I don't use that. You can't say that when you come to Texas Iron Republic. So I appreciate those guys. Let me come in here, put some content out, and have a great training session. So we have some chest today. I'm gonna blow my shit up. Hopefully you guys can mimic the workout if you have access to some similar equipment or some of the same stuff. Follow the same type of reps that we usually do. We'll keep some high volume, but then obviously once we get heavier, we'll change the volume. But I'm feeling good. I'm pumped to get this content out to you guys. So let's get to work. Just stretch just a little bit. Kind of get that shoulder loose, chest loose a little bit. Nothing crazy.
I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling this war. Never getting bored, loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more, freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force apart. And if you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious.
I got a quick 20 on the first set. I'm still doing 20s. Of course, that changes as we get higher. First couple sets, I always go right back into it. Trying to get that blood in there quick. I think I might have touched on this before, training chest, but you guys have to remember, when you're doing flies, I see a lot of different variations guys will put online about where you should have your hand placement, or what direction you should go with your hands. When you're doing flies, I found that the best approach is to just go with your natural plane of movement, right? So you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. You just bring your hands out to your side, right? And just before your shoulders start to elevate, which you'll know when you went too high because your shoulders will raise up. So you just want to come up and then just go normal. And you can do a slight bend in your elbows. So just think of hugging a tree. That's what I always tell people. If you do that, you kind of keep your chest engaged the whole time. So when you're doing flies, you don't want to be straight out and just moving. If you can hold it and actually engage your chest going through, I try to touch my wrists together. So if I'm doing that, you guys can see my chest will automatically activate, right? So when you're doing flies, just kind of think of bring your wrists together. I can't touch them together because my chest is so damn big. But I'll try. And so what you'll see is you can see the activation, like you see my arms are bent, and if I was to pull it out, you'll see the chest activate, right? If I'm straight out, it puts way more tension on my bicep than I'd like, so I just create this slight bend, and then it's like hugging a tree, right? So you grab the other, put the slight bend, and push out, just like that.
Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
You want to make sure too with flies, I'm able to lift this whole stack on this particular machine, but you don't want to go too heavy to where you're not actually able to squeeze the chest, because then you just kind of defeat the purpose of the exercise altogether. So you want to go with a weight that's going to be heavy enough to give you all the tension that you want, but not so heavy where you have to lean forward, you know, and you'll see some guys doing that. That just means that the weight is too heavy. You should be able to maintain upright posture. I stand up doing them, but obviously if you were to sit down, your back will be flat up against the bench, and that's what you'd have to do. You have to grab the weight, bring it forward, and stay flat. Just like that. And you'll see as I go forward, I actually push my chest forward. So I keep it engaged the whole time. But like I said, depending on what machine you're using, I like to stand up on this one because as the arms move, it doesn't come close to your head or anything like that. It makes it easy for me to just go with my natural plane of motion and go straight to the center. It's easy. So we'll go from some flies. From flies to incline press. Now, I'll get a lot of questions and guys will ask, obviously as I walk around or I go day to day, someone will say, how much do you bench? Funny enough, I don't bench. The last time I actually bench press, geez, it's probably been 5, 6 years. It's been quite a while. I'm more fond of doing dumbbells if I'm gonna do pressing. So we'll get to dumbbells, you know, in a couple of exercises, but if you have access to a hammer strength or this is a power lift, incline plate loaded press, I'll start with that because it's on a fixed track, so you can't mess it up. Not that I would, I'm an experienced lifter, but for people who are just getting started or are trying to find that perfect way to train their chest, I always like to start with flies just to stretch out, and then I'll go to any type of machine press. I'm big on incline. I don't do a lot of flat pressing because I feel like I've gotten the most results out of targeting the upper part of my chest, right? By doing that, my entire chest has actually grown. I don't do decline, so I know a lot of guys will ask, how do I develop the lower part of my chest? Well, I don't do decline. When I train, everything that I do, I just make sure I engage the chest as much as I can. If you do that, it make it very easy to grow your chest. Then it's just time and consistency, dieting, the amount of weight, you know, keeping the intensity up, going to failure, all that other stuff. I'm gonna start with one plate. Obviously, I can lift more than one plate, but this is the first part of the workout. And you wanna make sure you get good mind-muscle communication going before you go into the heavier lifts. So that's why I start with the flies. They're relatively easy. Just kind of go through, squeeze your chest, wake everything up. Then go to either, like I said, any type of machine press and just concentrate on actually engaging the chest. I'll get a lot of people and they'll say, well, how do you know what's the right height of the seat? Well, you should never, if you're doing incline, you never want to push from here. You should always be able to push from your natural shoulder height. So as you can see, this handle lines up perfectly with my shoulder, so it makes it easy to just push out. So I don't have to worry about arching my back, sitting too low, all this movement stuff. Put my back up against the pad, and then just press out. And it's gonna hit exactly where I want to hit every time. So you'll push out, make sure you're set, and then just press.
'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
course to go at 20 on the first set. This one also has the option to do an inside grip. So it's just all preference. I mean, obviously, both are gonna be useful if you have the energy to go through both. But same thing with this. You don't wanna be too low, not too high. You just wanna go with your natural plane of motion, which is to push straight up. So you here, just go up like that. And the chest is gonna automatically engage, so you don't even have to do anything. You just push, squeeze at the top. And you can do this isolation if it's a plate loaded hammer strength. So that's the benefit with that, because as you get heavier, it makes it pretty easy to put 3, 4 plates on here and focus on one side. And it's a little more difficult to put 3, 4 plates and work both sides. Those guys that are experienced, you know what I'm talking about. Another question I'll get a lot is the tempo at which you're lifting. So some people like to go really slow. Some people press a little bit faster. I just think it's a point of preference as to what you feel you get the most out of it. So if definitely not too fast, but definitely not too slow either. I mean, good contraction, time under tension, all the way through each rep. That'll give you everything that you need. As long as the muscle is contraction and you feel that pump, just keep doing that. That's all you have to do. Over and over and over. Also, we got iron plates at Texas Iron Republic. So you want to really lift, nothing like some good old iron. Stack them. Stack them, Captain. As far as rest time, anywhere from a minute, minute and a half. Obviously, once you go heavier, you use a little bit more energy per set. So taking a little bit more rest time can be beneficial, just not too much. So just keep that in mind. You want to keep the intensity up as much as you can. Keep the pump going. I mean, once you get to that point where your skin feels like it's gonna tear, that's all you gotta do. Keep hammering away. Some weight. That's crazy. You guys will see there is a difference in different machines that you use, whether it's a stack plate, plate loaded. Guys that have been lifting a while, and most of you guys viewing, you know, all machines aren't the same. So on here, 3 plates is relatively heavy. When I visit like my local 24-hour fitness or something like that, I'll warm up with 3 plates. It does not feel the same. So keep that in mind when you're translating all these workouts that I'm doing. Heavy is always gonna be a preference. So moderately heavy is what I always try to go for. Like I said, you wanna make sure in any exercise, the weight's not too heavy to where you're just moving the weight and you're not really targeting the muscle. Because that can happen easily because you have the strength. Strength has to translate to the muscle, and that's how you get the development. So guys will always say, well, what about low rep training? That's good, but do you want to develop a physique that looks a certain way, or are you just trying to build strength? So it's really important to try to see where you want to fit. I can barely fit in this machine. How cool is that? I'll work my way in there. All right. Woo. Pumped. Yeah. And what'll happen is the next time I train chest, so I'm running like still, I think I may have touched on it before, running a 4-day split, basically training a group every 4 days outside of my 2 leg days, which are always Monday, Friday. So I rotate everything else around that. So I'll give you guys a breakdown of that. I've talked about it before, but just in case you guys missed that video, I'll go back and revisit it again, because I do get a lot of questions about how do I do my workout split? Do I take rest days? All that. So we'll be sure to cover that. Life hack, bring disinfectant wipes with you to the gym. My girl actually is always on me about being clean. So instead of always running to the state cleaning station at the gym, just grab a wipe, go through, hit it. That's it. Respect your local gym. Now we're gonna roll over to some dumbbells. We wanna go with some incline flies. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of everything incline. So usually when I'm training chest, everything will be incline first. And then any energy I have left, I may do like a flat press or a seated chest press, plate loaded, which is what we'll come back and revisit here shortly. But we're gonna go knock out some dumbbells. Let's start with these 55s. I'm actually gonna adjust this seat just a little bit. So I can get a little bit more extension on the backside. Huh? Yeah, that's just wild the way they set that up. They got that mirror, one in the back, shit crazy. Oop. Yeah. 65, let's roll. incline flies, same concept. You can go heavy, all per your preference. So I make sure you can target that top corner. So same concept that I said with natural plane of motion, with the peg deck, or even if you're doing cables, you just have to make sure you're a little bit of a higher angle. And if you're doing it right, you'll feel right in the right spot, right here in the top corner. So as long as you can squeeze that together, you get your chest to grow. Shout out to Dark Sport, as always. Same shit, different day. Never fucking give up. This ain't changed. You guys know what it is. Now I'm back healthy. I can get some real training done. Get back to focus. I'm still just getting started. Any loss I take, smaller shows, it's all learning experience. I mean, I haven't even been here 10 years. You know, I was, as I always say, I was doing a completely different sport. And so trying to learn this, going straight into the open, as coming right out of an amateur career that didn't last very long. Right into the pros, right into the open with the big boys. So I've done pretty well considering that I'm competing with guys that have done this, you know, 15 years or better. So, right. I know one thing, looking pretty fucking big. Ah. Ah. My girl got me eating all those damn potatoes and pasta. Yeah. Pumped. We'll go to a little pressing. Incline dumbbell press as a fourth exercise. I found that doing dumbbells a little bit later allows me to keep the weight in check because I'm already pumped. So I'm not doing any type of ego lifting. I just come in, kind of let my body, like I said, tell me what it wants to do. So we'll start these based on the weight that we had over there and the fact that I'm already pumped. We'll start these with 110. And that's because really going less than that isn't gonna be much. I like to call it wasted reps, because if I go and I lift 80s or 90s when I'm already pumped, it's kind of using energy that I should save for the heavier lifts. Obviously, if you want to grow, you have to be able to lift heavy. So save energy for that. Don't really focus on just doing high rep training. Got to mix it together. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go up the weight. Just like I told you guys, let's not waste any reps. I'm gonna take my own advice. Nothing crazy. I don't have the ego lift. For one, my chest is one of my better attributes. So I just have to make sure I'm getting a good pump and I'm just maximizing the look of it, shaping it, getting it to look as perfect as I can. Oh yeah, 72 tens. Figured I'd bring them out. Found them in the closet hanging out. All right, now the goal when you're lifting dumbbells is try to be as controlled as possible. The heaviest I've done on incline dumbbells is 150. So don't know that made a difference in the chest, the amount of growth I've had in my chest. It definitely played a part. But it's been a while since I've been up that heavy. I found it more beneficial staying in the 100 to 130 range. That seems to be like where I can get a good controlled 10 to 12 reps. And like I said, that's, when I was doing the 150s, I was getting 8 to 10, but it wasn't as much control as I'd like. So, like I said, staying in that 100 to 130 range gives me the perfect control, perfect contraction. I can move the weight with a purpose instead of just trying to move the weight, which is what I always talk about with you guys. You just don't want to be able to move it. You want to translate it to the actual muscle group you're training. I see some guys lift considerably heavy weight, yet they lack a lot of chest development. And for me, my chest pops out. I mean, if I was to do a side chest, even through the shirt, you can see. And that's what you want, is a chest that sticks up at the top when you're doing your side chest shot. So as long as you can do that, you're lifting the right amount of weight. And also staying in that same range allows me to keep the intensity up, so I don't have to take as long as breaks. And like I said, this being the 4th exercise, usually my workouts run 5-6 exercises, and I'm usually pretty spent by the time I'm done. So if I keep the intensity level up, I'm usually in the gym on an upper body group around an hour, 10 minutes. If it's legs or back, a bigger group, it's probably an hour 20, hour 30. So the extra 10 minutes, extra 20 minutes come from the amount of rest time that's needed for those bigger lifts. If I'm deadlifting, if I'm doing rack pulls, obviously if I'm squatting, you need that little bit of rest time. Yeah. 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 Five. Yeah. Shit. Whew. Whew. It's good. Having that extra food, like I said, makes a difference too. It's been quite a while, like I said earlier, since I've been able to eat
what my body actually needs instead of trying to, you know, cut it down, bring it down. That's actually going against my genetics because I'm a hard gainer. So that's why you always have to remember when you're competing, your body changes over time. As you put on more muscle tissue, you could, you know, carry less fat, more muscle at a similar weight. So that's why you always hear people measure inches. I tell all of my clients, all my athletes that I work with, when they talk about the scale weight, the scale doesn't measure muscle growth. You actually have to look at your body and check the inches because fat, 1 pound of fat and 1 pound of muscle weighs the exact same, but it looks completely different. So you got to keep that in mind. And now that my muscle is more mature, I've been strength training 22 years now. I have to keep in mind that it's a completely different body than what I used to work with. So I'm a lot stronger. Muscle is more dense. Now it requires more food because I'm running a bigger engine essentially. So it changes constantly. You just have to be able to keep up with those changes, keep your lifts accordingly, and stay improving, stay progress, never get stagnant. You know, just constantly keep trying to get better. So that was 3 sets on that. I'm gonna run 1 more for good measure. Oh, shit. I need an assistant. Someone, come put these weights up for me. Shit. I'll work smarter. Whew. It's like, come on, Patrick, be smarter than the dumbbell. We're gonna run a seated chest press. Like I told you, since this is the end, I've done 2 fly movements, and I always try to go for at least 3 pressing movements. So no one's here in this gym, which is always a great thing. That's why I like coming to train around this time. It's just my own personal playground. So you can probably get a quick pan around and you can see no one's here. Big fan of this Nautilus chest press. Again, you have 2 options. Grip out here on the outside or grip on the inside. But like I said, with this one, it's cool because you can go one at a time to really kind of focus on what you're doing. So since both of my press have been traditional grip, I'm gonna do this one on the inside. One thing about chest, when you do presses back to back, it definitely is challenging, but you get a lot of growth that way. If you find it too challenging at first, I always will run a split throughout the workout. I'll do either fly, press, fly, press, fly, or the opposite. You can press, fly, press, fly, press. And this way, you're not doing 2 similar movements back to back, but you're still working the same muscle group, just in different variations, because it's much harder to press back to back than it is to do flies back to back. Last exercise is always also a cool down. I can tell when I said earlier about letting your body tell you what to do, you can always figure when your body is kind of starting to go downhill, and that's when you kind of want to try to wrap the workout up. I won't say that I think that overtraining is a thing, but training too much when you haven't had enough nutrients, rest, and all that stuff is a factor. Today, I've had enough rest. I've had some food, so I'm feeling really good. I just came out the gate really strong, so the pump is like pretty crazy. And even with this lighter weight, it's getting hard to move. So that lets me know like my body's saying, hey, go ahead and wrap this up. We've about given you all that we're gonna give you today. And you don't wanna go past that point, especially when it's later in the evening, because I need to make sure that I eat, hydrate, replenish, so I could come back for back training tomorrow. So always keep that in mind. Just listen to your body, listen to your body. And that's one of the advantages I found with training alone. I have trained with training partners before, but I can say I've had some of my best workouts when I'm in here, and I kind of go at my pace. My particular movements, my rep range, my set range, my amount of rest time, because I'm just kind of locked in. So I know a lot of you guys like to have training partners, but keep in mind there's training partners and then you both have individual goals. Just make sure you're reaching yours. So with this one, I'm just holding and flexing my chest at the end for 2-3 seconds. So I do that for about 10 reps and then regular reps after that. Oh, yeah. Whew. Oh man. I want to go one more set. Regular reps all the way through, just to close out. Because I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. And my body's saying that's enough. All right. Yep. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, buddy. Like Ronnie used to say, it's not Ronnie Coleman weight, but shit's got me pumped. Oh, let's unrack this. Oh. That is it, guys. We're not gonna have some long drawn out conclusion. At the start of the video, kind of gave you guys a rundown of what direction we're going with this. We will do the full day of eating. I know a lot of you guys want to see that. We will do a day in the life. I'm moving next week, so I got some things I need to take care of before I can show you guys what I do on my day-to-day. But until then, we'll be back in there next time. Probably knock out some shoulders, arms, maybe back. Then we'll follow with the leg video. But we're back with the content. I'm happy to bring it to you guys. Like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Share all the videos, follow the workouts, hit me up with any comments. You guys can hit me on my Instagram, Patrick T. Moore. DM me. I answer direct messages back to you guys. I'll continue to put content clips there, but if you want the full workout, the breakdown, you got to come to the channel. So you guys check out Inspired Nutra on Instagram, at Inspired Nutra, at Dark Sport. You guys know you can see me with the tank tops, the tees, all the dope workout gear. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you want to see next. Leave some comments. Catch you guys next time.